cost of living in South Central Missouri. So you want to buy a small parcel of land, say 5, 10, 20 acres, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. You need a shop. You need a little cross fencing for some critters. So you're wondering what it's going to cost your family in the month-to-month expenses to be a hillbilly. Because at the end of the day, who doesn't want to be a hillbilly? It's a great way of life. I've lived among them for 58 years, and their quality, super all quality. I don't know if you're going to cut the grade. I don't know if you can make it, but let's just talk about how many dollars are going to be going out of your wallet for your everyday life in southern Missouri. So your property, that's going to be your biggest initial cost, and a lot of stress involved in moving. But 5, 10 acres with a shop, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, has probably a pretty good septic system, hopefully a lagoon, because everybody wants to smell. They don't smell. Okay. I'm going to say $300,000. That's baseline. If you're bougie, you're pretty high-end, high-maintenance kind of folks, you're going to have to build it. South Central Missouri is not known for luxury homes. We were hand-to-mouth sustainable living for most of those 50 years. So if you want a $1 million house, you're going to have to hire a custom builder, which we know that you can do. So Duncan Smith, trying to sell you something in real estate, Remax Farm and Home. My phone number is 417-349-5630. And I just don't want to sell you something. It's got to work for you. So I don't know. You may be an investor. You may be a retiree. You may be coming in to live the family. You may be coming in to live the farm life and the homestead life. It just depends on, I ask you what your ideal property is, and then we try to figure that out as we go. So we got the property. That's number one. That's going to be your biggest frustration, panic mode is $300,000. That's a pretty nice house, not pretty nice property. It's not a dump. So taxes, I get asked a lot about taxes. Now we're just talking about your land and house taxes. We're not talking about your income taxes. I have no idea what you make. I don't want to know what you make. Give me your bank account numbers. Just kidding. I don't need those. In Wright, Texas and Douglas County, for a bare 40 acres, your taxes are going to be probably agriculture use, $5 to $10. If it's 3 acres or less, it's residential land in and around the different cities. And so I had a little 3-acre place outside Kabul. It was a residential listed. I think the taxes on that were like $70 a year. So just for the land. And then, of course, the newer trucks you drive and the night 4-wheelers and side-by-sides, tractors, your fleet of equipment, that's all going to be personal property. But we're just going to talk about the house, the ground, the shop, that 510. You can figure your personal property, just pencil it in at $1,500. Probably going to be substantially less than that, but it has to do with the evaluation on your home. So a $300,000 property, I'm going to say more realistically, it'll be about $1,250 a year just for the property and the home and in the buildings. We're not talking about livestock. We're not talking about your goats in your yard. So, and your guinea fowl. We're just talking about the land and the buildings in Wright, Texas and Douglas County. Super low taxes. But having said that, you may see a road grader if it's a gravel road, probably about 3 times a year. Electricity. We have a modern marvel with our electric co-ops in South Central Missouri. Intercounty Electric, which is headquarters in Licking, Missouri, Texas County, they are top notch. I'm going to call your electric bill $175 to $250. Now, if you're not smart enough to turn your lights off and you have a lot of gadgets running all the time and you like it to be sub-zero in the summer and super hot in the winter and you're running all electric in your house, $250 ain't going to cut it, Jasmine. That's just going to be a broad. Our We're down empty nesters, just an old farmhouse, but it's nice to me. And it's about $200 a month for our electric. And now we do have a couple mini splits, and we have central air in the summer and this and that. But just pencil in $200. So propane heat going to be about $2 a gallon, give or take. A lot of people heat with wood and these wood outdoor stoves. I'm not a big fan of the outdoor wood stoves that heat your hot water and run it through a condenser. A lot of people love them, and that's America. Help yourself. But wood, we sell it by the rick here in South Central Missouri. So that's about a 4-foot high by 8 feet long by the length you cut it. And a rick of wood delivered, stacked, it's probably going to be $70. And a good insulated home, I'd say 20 to 25 rick would heat your home all winter. It's another job, and if your back is young, it's a great job. If your back is old, it probably sucks. So we're going to go on to water. You need to have $5,000 put in an account just to service your well. At the lickety split, something happens. If lightning hits usually your insurance policy comes in, you're still going to pay $1,000 deductible more than likely. But it's going to cost $2,500 to $5,000 to get a well serviced and get a new pump or have it pulled with new wire, and they're probably going to put new pipe if it's been there for a long time. You always have water until you don't. We've had wells, and they're a beautiful thing. The water is crystal clear in Missouri, but you need to have $5,000 in an account, and your maintenance, your pressure tank, and your control switch and this and that. You're probably going to spend $500 to $1,000 in maintenance on a well a year, and that's probably a little on the high side. A lot of times it's just close the door, insulate it, turn a heat lamp on in the winter, and you're done. Home and property insurance for that 5, 10, 15 acres, 20 acres, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with a shop. Not super high coverage, but you're going to look at around $2,500 a year for your homeowner's insurance, and that's probably going to have some insurance for your property as well. Number 7, if you live on a gravel road, your wear and tear on your vehicles is going to be substantial. Tires, front ends, ball joints, steering arms, wheel bearings. That gravel, we live 2 miles down a gravel road. I personally love it. If someone comes and sees you, they really want to come and see you. They're not going to come and chat for some just diddly-dink reason. But ground is cheaper on gravel roads, but there's a reason for that. I personally love the privacy. I like the atmosphere of being quiet and all that. So I love the gravel, but your wear and tear on a gravel road, if you have the lower ply on their tires, about 10,000 miles is all you're going to get out of a set of tires. So this isn't really cost of living, but a lot of people, our weather, we have wind, rain, and snow. We have extremes in weather in South Central Missouri. People worry about tornadoes. Trust me, if you're in Missouri, the last thing you need to worry about is a tornado. You need to worry about, if you're a young person supporting your family, it's like, how in the world am I going to pay all these bills? Number 9, and this isn't really cost of living, but ticks and snakes. You always have a lot of folks worried about ticks and snakes. Trust me, after a while, they just don't bother you. Clean up your crap and mow your grass, and you're going to be fine. Number 10, the cost is one thing. Our wages are substantially lower in South Central Missouri. Our cost of living is the same way. It's relatively low on a national scale, but our wages are going to be lower. So I would encourage you to be an entrepreneur. I would encourage you to have a skill set that is in demand. If you paint pictures on rocks down by the river, you're probably going to have a tough way to go in South Central Missouri. If you're an electrician, a plumber, to whatever, working into the service industry, selling insurance, maybe being a realtor, bringing value to the community, and you have a smile on your face, you're going to do well in South Central Missouri. Anyway, these are 10 things that are associated with the cost of living in Missouri, South Central Missouri. And I'm a realtor, Duncan Smith in the Sticks. This is my YouTube channel. Been here 58 years, loved by several, hated by a few, but doggone it, that's just the way it rolls, isn't it? If you want to buy and sell real estate, you need to call 417-349-5630. That's my personal number. Or you can subscribe, and you can email me. I've got that in my, just text me, call me, 417-349-5630. You can subscribe this channel. This video is hopefully good, bad, and ugly. I'm zooming out. Have a good day. Be blessed over and out. Can subscribe. Stupid. Ooh.